Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be adding in elements into our header section of the web page. Okay, so here I have like a quick representation of what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so this is how we're going to divide the header section of the web page. First, we're going to divide into 3 sections for the menu, the search bar, and a logo on this side. In the first div, we're going to put 2 buttons. In the second div, we're going to put input box and then another button for the search icon, and then one more div for our logo. So let's head over into HTML and do this. Okay, so this is what we had during our last video. So we're going to be working on the header section today. Okay, so first things first, we need to take out this header name. If you look at this, we see there's a bit of space between the edges of the page and our elements. So for us to get that effect, we are going to make a section in the div. And then next, let's create 3 divs. Or you know what, we'll just rather do 1, then another div 2. And then the last one is just going to be an image, since it's just the only element in that section. So next, in the first div, we need to add in 2 buttons. And then for the menu, we're going to use an input. They work the exact same way though, but they're just different. And type going to be button. The value is going to be menu. So for this one, we're going to use the menu icon to implement this. So in order for us to do that, you need this link for the icons from Google. So once you have this link, all you need to do is just access the class and you get the icon you want from it. So for this one, we want the and the class is going to be material icon menu. Okay, so next let's go over to the web page and see what it looks like. So we just have those 2 buttons. Let's just ignore the arrangement for now and go on with what we need to do next. So now for the next div, we need to put an input box and then a button. So right here, input text, nice, beautiful, and then a button. And for this one, we're using the search button, so it's going to be the I tag class material icon and then search. So head over there, all correct. So lastly, we need the image. So for the image, we're going to be using this logo right here. So copy, paste, there we go. So now we have all the items on the web page. Let's first give IDs to all the sections of the header. So let's start with this one. We're gonna give this header and then this make them a class header items. And then the next one is the button. So ID menu button, and then this one we're gonna call ID menu. For the next div, let's put in the same class, the header items class, and then the input box we're going to give the ID search bar, and then for the button we're going to call it search button. Okay, but for the image, just so we don't have to do this again and again, we're just gonna set this here. The width, let's set it to 100, and then the height to 100. Head over to the web page and see what it looks like. Still not arranged though, but that's the size we would want to use. So now that's it for the HTML side. All we have to do now is go over to the CSS and make our edits over there. Okay, so over in the CSS, I recommend we work from the outside in the hierarchy of header, span, div, button, input, and that way. So rather than working randomly, we're going to work from the outermost tag to the inner tags. First thing we have to do is the header sec. So ID, so it's header sec. Now the display, it's going to be flex, then justify content, it's going to be space. We want space between them. And then lastly, align items is going to be center. Now we need the width to be almost equal to the width of the header. So the width is gonna be, let's say 85. Okay, next is gonna be the header item. So it's a class, so header items, it's gonna be the display, it's gonna be flex, and justify content is gonna be center, and then the align items is also gonna be center for this one. Okay, now see how they're all spaced out? That's what we want. So next, let's start from the left from this. So it's gonna be the menu buttons. Okay, so go down a bit, hashtag menu button. So in the menu button, we want the border style to be none, and then for this one we don't want the radius, so the border radius is gonna be 0. Okay, and then the background, we don't want background color, so background color is gonna be none. There we go. So now let's go to the menu. For the menu, we want the background to be none also, then the border color border style, actually style to be none. Font size is a bit too large, so the font size, let's set that to 20 pixels, a bit too small, 25 pixels. Okay, that works. So next on the list we have the search bar. We want to set the width 650 pixels, but the height 40 pixels. Okay, and then next for the border radius we're gonna do 5 pixels, and then border style solid. For the border color we want it to just be plain black. The border width should just be thin. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so next we're gonna do the search button. Okay, so the first is gonna be the background. We're gonna set that to white. Next we're gonna set the border style to solid, and the border radius we're gonna set that to 5 pixels, same as the input box. The border width we're gonna set that to thin. There we go. So it looks all right, everything looks correct, but one thing I noticed is there's space between the buttons in the divs, and that's because of we set a general margin between every item on the web page. So for that we need to take this out. So now they're all side by side. So, and secondly, for the header side we don't need the corner radius in this case, so we're gonna set the border radius to 0. So moving on, for the search bar we want these two sides to be connected. So for this we need to say border radius top right, we need to set that to 0, and then copy paste, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and now bottom right, set that to 0. So we need to do the same for the search icon. So border top left radius, set that to 0, and border bottom left radius, set that to 0. Now we need to take out the border on the right and the left for both cases. So for this one is going to be border right, none, and then same for this one, border left, set that to none. Okay, that looks right. Now everything looks correct except for the search icon. It's not showing because it's white. So to get it to be black we need to go to the access the class material, or better still, because if you change the class of the material icon in this case, we're going to change this to black also, but that's not what we want. We want to change the color of this one only. So let's head over to the HTML file and make some changes. So first things first, we need to go over to the buttons right here, the search, and give it an ID of, let's say, search. One last thing, in the search input box we need to put a placeholder right about here that says search. There we go. So let's head over to the CSS. Okay, so if we access the search ID, I'm gonna change the color to black. Now the search button comes up. So lastly for this, the last thing we need to do is align the search word to the far left. So go back to the search input, so text align, set that to left, and the font size we're gonna set that to medium. So we need a bit of space between this and the border, so padding left, we're gonna change that to like 20 pixels. Then lastly we're gonna change the color of the text to black. So now let's see if it works. There we go, it works perfectly. So that's gonna be it for this video. In the next video we're going to be going over adding elements into the nav section of our webpage. So be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to keep seeing my content, and that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.